lot of negative aspects and politics involved and cheating, and it really makes you dislike the sport.
I'm here today with Ognjen Topić. All right, I got that right.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. We're here at Pu'u Muay Thai. Ventura is here today for a seminar at our academy. Just came into town and we're here in the office and figured it'd be a good time to just shoot the shit a little bit. We're drinking coffee and we're talking about a little bit like the mentality, because I said the first time, like, I knew who you were. There's the Friday night fights and stuff like that when you're fighting. But the one where I was like, I want to start seeing what this guy does is when you fought Power from Saenchai gym. What number of the pro fights was that for you? How far were you into it?
And I think that was maybe the Nung fight was, I think it was my 8th pro fight. So that must have been like my 10th, 11th.
Yeah. So on paper, it looked like a massive mismatch. Right? Because Power had like two children, some fights.
Yeah.
Right? And I knew Power. And I'm like, oh, if he's training, this is like, could just not be good. And you knocked him out. What was it? You said second round?
I think it was third. Yeah.
Third round?
Third round, yeah.
Right? Head kick too. Knockout. And I remember just thinking like, shit, well, I guess I'm following Ognjen. So seeing his journey through this, because that's like a statement of like, hey, I'm fucking here.
Yeah.
Right? Again, I'm here. I'm up with those guys. And I thought that was a good moment for Muay Thai in America too. You know, I think that was that a little bit after Kevin Ross retired, like was getting closer to like his peak of fighting and stuff. So it's like,
yeah, kind of was 2011.
Yeah, and like next generation's coming up, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I saw that. In seeing that transpire, you know, we're talking a little bit like mentality when it came into that. So how is it being like mentally? What did you do prepare for stuff like that when you're like Nung Sam too? He just fought Vertzilla last night. Do you see that?
Yeah, I think it was like a exhibition, or
I don't know what it was, but because Vertzilla, I think he's supposed to fight somebody from Florida Kickboxing Academy, from those guys at the Muay Thai guys.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was the fight that was supposed to happen and something happened. I don't know. But the fact is, if you don't know who Nung Sam is, he's a legend in the sport, especially here in the US, you know, he's a Fairtex guy, I think.
Yeah, he was Omnoi Stadium Champion. He fought
Saenchai, yeah, too. So
yeah, very good fighter.
You can still look at the fights from him as well. To see like when they're both like 14, 15 years old or something. Yeah, very young.
Yes, that was the first legitimate Thai that I fought. You know, I had 20 amateur fights, and then now that was my 8th professional fight. So 28 fights in. And of course, I did everything that I could in my power to be able to figure out the clinch aspect, so I'm not getting thrown, sweeps, things like that, just so you don't look like a complete amateur.
Yeah, yeah.
But then when you walk in there, and then there's timing, there's feints, fakes, then it's a whole different ballgame. You can know exactly what your opponent does, but when you include those things, it breaks everything down.
And then in the moment too.
Yeah.
Right? Because oh, that's the thing he does.
Right.
Like, fuck. Like,
yeah,
he's not see it coming.
You still can't catch up to it, right?
Yeah, it's just like a breakout with his left kick. Everybody knows it's coming. Saenchai too. You know it's coming, but you still
can't defend it, right?
Yeah, you know, because they're masters at that aspect. You know, what was your mentality going into those then? Like once you really understood, like, hey, I'm fighting these guys. Like, what changed in your training? Like, what were the adjustments that you made?
You're just extremely focused on that one thing, and that's it. Just figuring out the mistakes that they made, if they have any mistakes, and then trying to capitalize on, you know, doing something that's gonna give you a potential DKO or a KO, or just to hurt them.
Yeah. So when you came into like Power, when you were thinking about fighting him, was the game plan for like a head kick back then, or was it?
No, not necessarily. It was a lot of defense training that I did for that fight, because I knew that he was gonna go forward towards me. Mm-hmm. And so we worked on that teep, the jab, mixing up, just playing with the lead leg and then the lead arm in those first 2 rounds, and then later on going in with more volume.
All right. So, and obviously that worked.
Right. And then also I really worked on my clinch, because in that Nung Sam fight, I was thrown all over the place, you know?
Yeah, he was like he's laughing too.
Right. Yeah, well, it's very, very easy for him to do that, because I didn't have like that
base
experience with the clinch and the base, you know? So I worked much harder on getting that ironed out for the Power fight.
Awesome. Going into the mentality stuff too, we're talking a little bit like some of your marketing. I know you were very active on social media. Like you're always posting videos like your training, sparring. Is it North Jersey Muay Thai at the time?
Yeah, at that time, yeah.
Yeah, at that time. And I remember seeing you like consistently on the feed. It's like sparring, hitting pads, conditioning, hitting the bag. Like there's always just, there was no instructional stuff. Just this is me preparing for
Yeah,
what's next to come.
yeah.
Is that something that helped benefit you when it came into fight opportunities as you're marketing yourself that way?
Possibly. And I already had a name behind myself, you know, but I think the social media definitely pushed me forward, and that was all strategic as well, because when I had to, not when I had to, but when I decided to quit my job, which was graphic design, because it was, you know, it was so difficult to do a 9 to 5 job, and then 5 to 9 I had to fit 2 sessions into the gym.
Yeah, and were you running in the morning too before? Or?
Sometimes I was in the morning, but most of the time it was right after work.
And you were fighting a much lower weight class back then too.
Yeah,
you were fighting. Was it 122 or what?
It was 125 I started as a pro, and then it was 130, 132, then 135, and then I went up. Actually, yeah, 135, yeah. But as an amateur, I was fighting at 140. And then when I went to one championship, I was fighting at 145, which obviously was not a good choice.
No, especially with the guy in the small glove on there too.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's a whole different beast. Who'd you fight in? Did you fight? Was it twice in one or
No, I fought 4 times.
4 times?
I fought Samapet. I fought
Samapat, yeah.
a Greek kid, Sturgios.
Yes. Sergios Mitrios, I think it's what his name was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tapata Tong. Yeah. M. And then the Russian dude,
Yeah.
the Dagestani guy.
Because he fought kickboxing rules on one of them.
No, I think it was all
All on Muay Thai rules. With marketing and stuff like that, and your background in that design, you know, obviously making the decision to go to, hey, I'm gonna double down on fighting and quit my day job.
Yeah.
What was the deciding factor on that for you?
It was very difficult to do, because, you know, you're going from steady income to
Stability.
0 income, you know. But I just believed so hard in myself that I'm gonna be able to do this, and if not now, then it's never, because my youth only comes once. But graphic design, I can do whenever.
You can do it, and you can do it in a wheelchair.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's always you can see.
So once I did that, then I decided. And Instagram, I was never really using it. I thought it was pointless unless you have a business. You know, like I don't care about showing myself on photos. So once that happened, then I went really hard with the social media and Instagram. I started posting up those videos that you're talking about. And then for the Facebook fan page, I remember my boss was telling me, "Hey man, you should create a Facebook fan page." I was like, who's a fan of me?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit who I am? You know, I don't have 200 fights. I'm not some big name.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking also, isn't a fan supposed to create a fan page for you? You're not the fan, you know? But it was just the mentality that I had.
But also that stuff was kind of just evolving into what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But exactly, correct. That was like when it first started coming out.
Yeah, so I understand that mentality. For sure, 100%.
I created that fan page, and now I have 100-something thousand followers on there, you know?
It went to critical mass.
Yeah.
Right. So you obviously approach fighting like, hey, this is my business now.
Exactly, right.
Right. So that's why you,
Exactly.
all right, I'm going to do this. This makes
Because I had to figure out how to make money now from Muay Thai.
Yeah. So is that something that helped you later on? Like, you know, obviously, you know, kind of fast forward, you ended up moving to Thailand, right? Is that something like having that following? Is that stuff that helped you when you were in Thailand also, like financially or anything?
Well, yes, because I was able to get sponsors. That was my whole objective, to get as many followers as I can so I can make money now. Now I can ask for more money from sponsors. I can leverage maybe doing seminars and personal training and things like that.
So how important would you say for a fighter now that's trying to come up to compete as a professional? They're coming through amateur ranks and they're at that point, that precipice of like, hey, I'm going all in, right? How important do you think it is that they focus on their brand in media and like online media?
Yeah,
How important do you think that is?
I think it is important. But again, you have to create something that makes you stand out. For me, I believe it was my, you know, like the feints and fakes that I do, and then my explosiveness, my speed. So those are
Very athletic build.
right,
Yeah.
those are the things that made me stand out. So you have to find something that makes you stand out, because that's what's going to become your brand. Now people are going to know, okay, that's the guy, I remember seeing him here, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, let's see if you put, hey, he's the guy that does like sort of those fancy feints that lots of
Right.
people set up and he's kicking people in the head.
So you have to create a way to stand out from everybody else. That's going to become your brand.
It's like kind of your trademark. Your trademark.
Right.
Your signature moves.
Right.
That's it.
If I say the word Nike, you get a completely different feeling in your mind than when I say Adidas.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And then you slap the logo on there, which you don't necessarily need to have a logo. But because, you know, this is what I do, branding and design logos, I wanted to have a logo for myself. But initially, your name becomes your logo. And then your personality is the brand. And then the way you fight in the ring is your brand as well.
Yeah, because that's kind of with everything you're training in, like where it comes into content and everything like that too. Is like you're fighting them as also as content for your brand. Like if you think of it separate from that, but you have to be able to perform at that degree and able to be able to capitalize on that. And that's the skill of fighting.
Yeah.
Right. It's very unique from any other business.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's literally your body and it's you.
Yeah, absolutely. You also have to always follow the trends. You know, as much as I say it's better to be iconic than trendy, you have no choice. Like, especially on social media. When I first started on Instagram, it was just these 15-second video clips. And I got so many followers just by posting up me doing 10 kicks,
one of the bags. Yeah.
That was it, 15-second clip. And you would get so many followers just off of that, or just short little clips of me hitting the pads. Then later on, that stuff didn't work anymore. Yeah, you cared about it. Now you have to start teaching people, you know? But again, I'm not saying everybody should be teaching people. That amateurs out there who have like a few fights, 5-6 fights, and they want to show techniques.
Some that have none.
Yeah, exactly. And I started teaching the first time personal training. It was in 2016. 2016, I'm already a world champion, and I beat Rungradi, Sasiprapa, and other Muay Thai fighters, you know, who are very good. And still, even then, I didn't want to teach people because I was thinking to myself, again, who the fuck am I to be teaching anybody when there's Thais in Thailand with 200-300 fights, you know?
I was just talking to somebody about this today, though. It was like an informational arbitrage. You knew that, but they didn't know that. And they weren't willing to go over to Thailand to go learn that stuff. Right? But you were that in-between person that can help impart some of that knowledge on them, right? And there's you know, like you're saying, there's some of these guys that have 5 or 6 fights. They're trying to portray themselves as these big trainers. Like that's something that I've seen. I'll say.
Yeah.
And at the same time, they also didn't do that. They didn't go actually get the knowledge. They're
Right.
My friends will say we call it influencer fraud. Influencer fraud, I like, you know, we call it.
Good name.
Yeah, influencer fraud. Shouts to Josh Saliva on that one. And they're leading to Treasure Island. When they get there, it's a fucking deserted island.
Yeah.
And they're leaving your ass there. Because it misleads a student that's trying to get to that precipice, if that's what they're really wanting to do. If you're following that person that has that falsehood or doesn't have, they're just thinking about money to themselves.
Right, that's their end goal, is just money. My end goal was to be a champion.
Yeah, and it's just that this was a tool to help you find it.
Right, exactly. And I know the money is going to come eventually with that.
Yeah.
If I just keep at it and keep moving forward.
Exactly. That's the difference between being authentic and being a fraud.
Right.
In my sense of like somebody who really loves Muay Thai, like everything for Muay Thai, like I always want to do what's best for it.
Yeah.
And seeing people authentic like you, that's why like, you know, we're talking about before, I'm like, hey, this is an investment in our community here, because I want people to know what is real Muay Thai, right? What is authentic Muay Thai? What is it like for somebody who's you know, grew up in the U.S. to fight at, it was like Omnoi Stadium, and that mentality to drive and push yourself to that.
Yeah.
Is, I don't think people, it's not that I don't think people have it. I know they don't understand.
Yeah.
Right? I've been there. I've seen that shit. That's fucking tough, man. To go in and build yourself through the gambling circuit.
Yeah.
And do it in at a competitive weight class. To have that shit against you also. Like, just your looks in town. People don't understand, like, your light skin is like, what the fuck you doing Muay Thai?
Yeah.
Right? They're like, what's going on?
Right.
But I guess I want to touch a little bit on that also, is going through the stadium circuit. That's some dark shit too sometimes. Yeah.
It is like a lot of negative aspects and politics involved and cheating, and it really makes you dislike the sport.
Yeah.
It turns you off.
I had this experience like early on in my going to Thailand and seeing it. I saw a fighter get knocked out at the old Lumpini Stadium. And I know that it's like, you know, please do not discipline your fighters in front of the audience waiting to the gym, right? This kid got the shit. So he pulled out the stretcher. They have a wheelchair at the oxygen.
Right.
And then the trainer proceeded to beat the shit out of him in the back room. After he just got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, we call that round
6, yeah. So that really made me like, I saw this happen to somebody that I knew the gym owner, whose coaches were doing this, and I knew the fighter very well because I've been going there for like 7-8 years at that point.
Yeah.
And so to see that was like really tough, and like I came back, I was really pissed off.
Yeah, you just have to understand how they think about the fighters in Thailand. That same thing happened to my opponent when I first fought for that first time title, and it was a draw. And he got the same thing on that ride, and they recorded it, and then it went all over the news media. It was on regular channels in Thailand, and there was like a huge uproar in the Muay Thai community, and not just Muay Thai community, but in general.
Yeah, it's like people are like, wait, what the fuck's going on?
Right? Like, you have to understand that fighters in Thailand, they're just numbers, and that's it. It's almost like, you know, you're like a paid slave.
You're a racehorse.
Right.
Yeah, you're literally, they end the contract. They own your image and likeness as a fighter.
Right.
Fight name.
Yeah, correct.
That's there. Are you under contract or something like that?
No, and I deliberately never wanted to be a sponsored fighter. I paid my way through every single gym since 2008.
Fuck yeah. Because this is something like, I'm sure people ask you, how did I become a sponsor fighter? It's like, I don't think you really want to do that, man. You know, it's like if you can afford to not be in that position, it'll probably be better because it makes you more or less like a free agent almost. But you can also show your loyalty in other ways.
Yeah.
Too. And I've seen people get the butt end of that, you know, where it's like, hey, you're not really getting any training. And then I guess throw you into a high level fight and get fucked up.
Yeah.
Right. And then they give you a round 6 treatment when you get back.
Right.
So it gives you also an appreciation for people like Saenchai, right? Like Bokans, the people that went through this stuff and they still doing the sport.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, they must really love it. And like, even though they hate it, I'm sure, but they also love it to a degree because otherwise they probably would have just said, fuck it, I'm going to become a farmer.
Yeah.
It was like Pornsene from Saenchai.
Right.
You know, same thing. He's like, I'm just going to be, I'll go back to be on the farm. Because he's just like, I'm done.
Right.
But you get Saenchai, now he's able to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
But speaking of Saenchai, how was it fighting against Saenchai? You fought him in Thailand, right?
No, it was in Hong Kong.
That was in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the, because were you training at PK Saenchai gym with it?
No, I was in New Jersey.
You were in New Jersey when you
Actually, that's not what it went about. I was doing seminars in Serbia, and it was like about 3 or 4 weeks before that fight, maybe 5 weeks, something like that. And I get a message on my Facebook, and it's from Stefania Picelli, I believe it is. She used to do the promotional for Yoka. And she sends me a message, and she asks, hey, can you fight at 65 kilograms? No, 65 kilograms is like about 145.
Yeah.
So I tell her, no, I don't fight at that weight. But if it's against Saenchai, yes, I can fight that weight. So she says, yes, it's against Saenchai. And man, I was so happy because, you know, obviously I wanted to fight him so bad. And I was so motivated for that fight. I fly right back to America, start my training, and I'm training hard, and that's it. That's how it happened. But yeah, to answer your question, how I was fighting him, for me, it was like a paid personal training session. And I learned a lot from that fight. The aspect of the speed and explosiveness, you know, distance, and how he does certain things. So I learned a lot from that.
From IQ.
Which helped me out in the next fights.
I believe it. His style of fighting, you know, we were talking like Wurzel and stuff like that, the Josh Jim,
right?
Like very elusive and explosive style where they fight on their back foot and that explode in is very unique. And you're kind of seeing it like, want to see kind of like made it harder to fight that style too.
100%. And not only that, but even in Thailand, it makes it difficult to fight like that because in Thailand, because of the gambling, you have to fight in a very specific way. And you can't be taking too many chances, you know, trying out.
So they don't want to gamble on you.
Who moves. Yeah, because if you do that and it doesn't work out, now your price has gone down. The odds are changing. They're flipping. Now you lost. You just lost the
gym money.
The gym money. And now they're going to scold you. Now you're going to get that round 6. So you have to just fight in a very specific way, the way they ask you to fight. And
yeah,
you to fight.
Yeah, because this is some of the stuff why I was so damn young. Because I knew not a lot of people like understand that. I know you probably don't. Like, have you had the chance to explain this to a lot of people?
Not much. I do a seminar on gambling and scoring, how it's
Especially that you were doing that.
With gambling, it's a different sport.
Yeah.
You know, and it's nothing to do with how many kicks you throw or sometimes even how hard your kick throws. It's about a lot about position and how you behave in the ring.
How you perform as the showburst.
Correct.
Yeah, correct. It's like, okay, how high are you kicking? How, you know, how... I'm using references like that, but it's just more like you said, the posture, the control, and domination, and showing your ring prowess as a fighter. for me, that's what drew me to Muay Thai, though.
Yeah.
Right. So with the advent of one championship and the small gloves, and, you know what's funny is because you go from like, did you ever fight Kachuk?
No.
Never did the rope fight, but it went from like Kachuk to using bigger glove, like the now consider like a more traditional Muay Thai glove. Now we're going kind of back to that small, almost like Kachuk kind of thing. But honestly, Kachuk, I've ref those. It's safer in the sense that glove doesn't fit into your orbital and your eye socket. With the Kachuk is bigger, so it won't actually go into your eye socket the same way. Yeah, it has rope, it can do different things, but it's actually from a damage standpoint safer for the hand with the rope because it has more support than the glove. But it changed the sport, right? Because like we were talking about, and then they just started discouraging more clinching, which like you were saying when you fought Dong Xiam, his clinch game was like different, and you started like I need to learn to evolve on this.
Right.
But yeah, seeing the sport changes.
It's definitely no longer Muay Thai the way you and I
saw it
and
experienced it, right?
Yeah, it's like it's definitely different. Yeah,
the stadium is it's like a nightclub now. Yeah. It's like RWS. It's cool. Like I appreciate it. Is it good for the sport? I don't know. Time will tell. But it's not the sport that I fell in love with and went through it. It's still great to see because it's bringing more eyeballs.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate as well for the fighters too, because number one, it's lessening their time in the sport because of the damage that they take, but it's all because of the way the bosses want the fighters to fight, and the fighters have to listen to the bosses. That's the money. Different type of culture as well. And so let's say every single boss, these gyms are telling fighters, do not move back. You have to move forward. So now you get somebody that's a technical fighter who's been fighting for 20 years technically since the age of 7, and now you're telling them that they have to be a Muay Mat and just go in there with fists and start boxing.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna get knocked out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I remember the last time I've seen somebody use a teat in one championship. No, it's a place.
Where is it? Yeah, where's it?
It's not gonna be scored well, and people don't want to see that. They don't want to see you be able to control a fight. They want to be able to see you dominate and knock somebody out. So that's how it's changing the sport with the, I mean, look, it's not the small gloves. It's the fact that they're telling these fighters how they want them to fight, which is just going there like two bulls crash into each other's.
Fight down the mouthpiece and trade.
Exactly, yeah. So that's how it's.
And we'll give you a bonus if you knock him out.
Right.
And it was like, of course,
and he's going in there for that, right?
Yeah, they want to go in and try to get the knockout bonus, which was funny because then they kind of rolled that back recently.
Yeah.
All right. But, speaking of, do you watch is it Asa Tenpao versus 6 on One? Do you see that one-on-one?
Yeah, I believe I did.
So he wasn't a banger or anything. He, using good Muay Thai, knocked out 6 up.
Right.
And he didn't get a bonus. He's like, yeah, but it's also politics at play. Don't know, discuss or what have you. But I always think it's interesting. Sometimes it seems like it's subjective, also based upon who is doing the knockout.
Yeah.
Right. Who we're hoping wins, from what I've seen. And I don't blame them. They're trying to build up their heroes too. Right. Going into one championship, we're talking like now it's bringing more eyeballs on this sport. It's not like people come into our play in our academy and they're like, oh, like, how did you hear about Muay Thai? It used to be like, oh, I was kind of walked by. Now it's like, oh, I saw it on Amazon Prime. I was watching one championships. Oh, shit. It's like, yeah, I know who Rod Tang is. I know who Stan. I'm like, dude, this is like, it helped, we don't have to educate them as much. Right? Because they have a rough idea. Yeah. Well, it's not the full aspect of the art of Muay Thai. It's the glimpse into it where they at least have a understanding that, hey, you can punch a kidney and elbow. And it's not pronounced Muay Thai or it's not a trick. Right, because it was like, I mean, that joke less and less.
Yeah,
right.
But the Muay Thai.
Yeah, Muay Thai.
Yeah.
But for you now, you're stepping into coaching. You're stepping into doing your seminars and stuff like that too. What's next for you, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna continue doing that. Maybe open up a gym. Nothing's definite. But yeah.
Well, I think, regardless, whatever it is, as long as it fulfills your purpose about what you want to do, I think it'll end up working out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, marketing, branding, seminars. I'm taking a seminar from you, but I've seen how you teach and, like, the details. Like, I was talking just some of the clips you've been posting from your seminars recently. I'm like, I know it's going to be good. Like, I'll get value from it. You know who had a really ridiculous IQ? Did you ever train with Danny Bill?
No.
If ever get the chance to, highly recommend it. His IQ is so high And the thing is, he's like, he's French Cameroon guy. So he speaks English, but he's older. He can't really move around that much because he needs a hip replacement.
Yeah.
But his IQ is still there, and his explanation of it. Everybody, like, so all our instructors, right, frothy at the mouth because it's like the level IQ is very high. He's speaking, in Algebra 2, geometry, all this stuff for people. And, like, people who are more, like, intermediate students, they kind of, like, maybe got some of it. But the level of his IQ is probably the highest I've ever experienced from somebody that speaks English. And from somebody who's obviously been there, done that.
Right.
It's like they've flew his ass out on a day's notice to go weigh in morning of at Limpini and go fight for a title, and he wins. It's like, that's some shit right there.
Yeah.
But same day I took him to a place where he got coffee and a croissant.
Yeah.
But what do you want? It's a black coffee and a croissant. Done. Let's go. That place is pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, so they opened up, they had one location in Midtown for like 8 years, maybe longer. And then they just started blowing up and opening up more spots. And
that's how I judge every bakery by their croissants. Almond croissants.
You're almond croissants. Yeah, so they definitely, so 1 out of 10, what would you say? What would you rate that one out? I'm putting you on the spot here, man.
That was a 7.
7? That's not bad. Have you had a 10?
I have.
Where?
Thailand, man.
No shit.
Bangkok.
Well, okay, I'm not surprised.
Bangkok has some of the best restaurants now. It wasn't like that always.
No.
This was just like recently, within a few years.
Like I've had 3-4 years, yeah.
Yeah, I've had some of the best food over there. I really have. There's a lot of people who are
moving,
who are learning. Yeah, learning how to do like French type of baking and Italian cooking.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, in the cooking like that, it's not like in the baking, it's not cheap to do, but the labor costs there are a little bit lower.
Yeah.
And Thai people are very crafty. They would love to make money. So they're usually very incentivized to get that process down. And then they're very competitive.
Right.
So you end up getting the best of the best.
Yeah.
So when you eventually moved to Bangkok, right? What year did you move there?
That was the first time I went there was 2008 for 1 month. Mm-hmm. Then again in 2010 for 1 month. And then at the end of 2013, December, 1 month. And then that's when I started deciding, okay, I have to quit my job. And in 2014, that's when I quit the job. And then I went there for 7 months. And then I started going there for longer periods of time.
Were you permanently staying in Bangkok?
Yeah.
Why? I think I know why, but I want to hear from the horse's mouth.
Right. My whole objective was to be the best that I can be and to have that chance to fight at the highest level in the best stadiums and to potentially get a title. So Bangkok is where you need to be. Yeah.
Well, highest level fighters go to fight.
Right, exactly.
So why not be in the mix?
Yeah.
When you think about somebody who's wanting to train, they want to train Muay Thai, and they want to get the most out of their time training and competing. Would you say Bangkok's a place to get that, or is there a different place for that?
Yeah. But I think it also depends on the trainers too, because you'll get very good trainers. Like, let's say Cookie has a gym down in...
Yeah, he's over at Y.
Yeah, and he's very good and he speaks English. He knows how to cater it to foreigners.
Yeah.
Not too many Thais.
I'd say he's an outlier for sure.
Right.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot like it.
It also depends on the person.
Mm-hmm. But for a majority base...
Like, I would say Bangkok, yeah, because they have the most amount of high-level
trainers there.
Exactly.
The high-level gyms are going to hire the best talent for for their racehorses,
right,
to go perform, right? So this is something a lot of people else comes into marketing stuff, because those guys don't market to a Western audience typically. The tourist gyms like in Phuket, like in Koh Samui, they'll market for a Western audience because they're getting a lot of tourism.
Yeah.
So they want people to come there to come stay at the gym. Yeah, they might get some good trainers. You might be able to get some decent training there. But usually you're going to pay a little bit more for it. And unless you're there for a long term and have an established relationship with the trainer, you're probably not going to get in my experience from seeing it for people. And I try to tell them, hey, unless you're paying for one-on-ones and just going there and training with a specific trainer like Cookie, you're probably not going to get the amount of training that you would normally get.
Right.
If you had the same dollar per dollar transaction in Bangkok at a place that has a high level gym too. Because you're also in Bangkok and it's not a pretty ass beach.
Yeah.
It's like you're in Smog City.
Yeah.
Where it's tough. All right, so we're going to rewind a little bit. We'll go back to, we're talking a little bit about taking risks in Muay Thai too. Let's talk about Danny Bill. Again, is, taking those last minute notice. What are those times, I know you mentioned that you wanted to touch on that a little bit, of those taking risks.
Yeah, so going back to that, when Danny Bill took that risk, I'm sure that's a calculated risk. That's not just, okay, let me do this. He's not doing a different sport. He's doing something that he's an expert in. And so he's training hard. He's focused on his training. When that call comes, okay, now I can go. No problem. So that's what being determined and dedicated to one sport or, you know, one's craft means. Now you can take those calculated risks because you've trained hard on specific things. You know your defense is tight. So when those types of calls come, now you can go out and potentially set yourself up for a bigger fight. Maybe it's not a championship fight, but it could show somebody your dedication and how good you are, and now maybe you'll get that.
Even if you don't win, it's like if you perform well on that short notice.
Exactly.
Right. It's like, hey, imagine this guy when he prepped for a 4.
Right, exactly. It's about that, for being able to show your skill and perform well under pressure, especially on that late notice. And I've taken many late notice fights as well. And again, it's that calculated risk that you're taking. You know, it's not just, okay, that's the first time I'm doing Muay Thai, let you take that risk. Oh, it's not about that. It's about being able to consistently train, working on specific things, not cutting corners. And then now when that call comes, what is there to worry about? You did everything possibly
Trust
that
it.
you could. Right.
Yeah, trust in
Be right and believe in yourself and just go out there and do it.
Yeah, but to be clear, it's not I just see red, bro. I can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not that.
No.
So I encourage people to take risks.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
because the higher the risk, most time higher the reward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I have a friend who just fought on less way though. Would you ever do that?
Yeah, I would. Why not?
If the pay was good?
Right. And if let's say when I was fighting in Thailand for that title, then I didn't care about anything else. I needed to just continue being on this path where it's going to get me to my goal. But let's say if I decide to fight again, yeah, why not? If the pay is good, if I'm dedicated to train again hard, you know, prepare myself, why not?
You heard it first. All right. So for those that want to find you or take you up on that offer, how do they get in touch with you?
They can just message me on social media at Topic Fight. That's across all my channels.
Topic Fight.
Or go to topicfight.com, my website.
Cool. Anybody that's listening on the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast, if you're on YouTube, it'll be in the description or in the show notes. Make sure to go follow Ognjen. If you don't already and you're following this, then first of all, check yourself if you're involved in Muay Thai. And go check out what he's doing. He's definitely somebody you want to be following in sport and what he has to say, because somebody who's lived it, done it, taking those risks, and came out, and well, you still look good, man. Yeah, don't look like somebody who's defense. Yeah, Omnoi Stadium Champion, man. That's a huge feat. So I want to say, like, congratulations. I'm super stoked to see. I know you're serving American, but you represent USA. Yeah, also, and I think that's a very spectacular thing to see somebody like you, and you're the best until this point in time, in my opinion. I think a lot of people's opinion in Muay Thai in the US, but yeah, be sure what you do, and look forward to seeing what else is to come for you.
Yeah, thanks for having me too.
Of course.